Hello and welcome to our Chem 4 final exam review. We're up to part 16 where we're going to do examples of Le Chatelier's principle. Remember we said there are two things you should do right at the get-go. And number one was cross out any solids or liquids. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And step two was to add up the moles from the coefficients in the equation of gas on both sides. So I'm going to do that. And I see we have 3 moles of gas here, and we have, oh, there's another solid. And we have 2 moles of gas here. Now we're ready to go. Here's the question. If you add more PBS, what is the effect on equilibrium? Nothing, no effect. It's a solid. We crossed it out. So adding more of this has no effect on the concentrations of reactants and products at equilibrium. Let's try another one. What happens if we increase the pressure on the reaction? Remember, increasing the pressure, the reaction takes place, and that, you know what I mean, inside the container. If you increase the pressure on this reaction, you're going to shift from the more moles of gas to less moles. Well, which side do we have more moles? More moles here than here. So we are going to shift right, so that we have more product. We're going to get more product. Okay, let's look at number 3. What happens, what is the effect if we decrease the volume? Remember, decreasing the volume is the same thing as increasing the pressure. And increasing the pressure shifts away from the side with more moles. So again, you're going to write that we have a right shift. Part 4. What happens if we increase the temperature? Now, notice, this is the enthalpy. If you see a positive heat, or if they write plus heat here, they're telling you that positive, that the heat is being added in the reaction. So treat heat as a reactant. So I could just as well go ahead and write heat over here, because we have a positive delta H. We have a positive enthalpy. If I increase the temperature, then it's a reactant. So to increase the temperature is adding to the left. So if you increase, you're going to shift away from the increased side. So that means we're shifting again to the right. A right shift. Okay, let's try another example. I hope we have time to get through it.
Oh, we're only 3:17.
Oh, okay. So here's our second example. N2O4 gas. Now this time they're going to write it in. Plus heat yields 2NO2 gas. Step 1. Cross out solids and liquids. We don't have any. We have nothing to cross out. Step 2. Add up the number of moles of gas on each side. So we have 1 mole of gas here. We have 2 moles of gas here. We're all set to go. The questions: what happens, what's the effect on equilibrium if you decrease the temperature? Remember, if you're decreasing, it's remove, restore. So if I remove something from this side, it's got to shift left to restore. So that's a left shift. Next question, what is the effect if you add a catalyst? Remember, catalysts speed up a reaction, but they have no effect on the concentrations at equilibrium. Now they want to know, what is the effect if we add NO2 gas? Oh, NO2 is over here. Remember, if you add a compound, away. So you're going to do add, away. To go away from NO2 is to shift left. What if you remove NO2? If you remove, it's remove, restore. So whatever the side is that you remove from, the equation's going to shift to restore it. So that's going to be a right shift. And they want to know, what if you decrease the pressure? Remember, increasing the pressure happens when you decrease the volume. And if you increase the pressure, then you're going to shift to the side that has less moles of gas. Well, they're not asking that. Adding more pressure would shift away from the side with more moles of gas. So decreasing the pressure is going to do the opposite. You're going to shift to the side with more moles of gas. You only have to memorize one and then do your vice versa. So this has more moles of gas. We're going to shift to the side with more moles. So it's going to go for a right shift. Okay, remember, add away, remove, restore. Remember, increasing pressure shifts away from the side with more moles. And we'll be back with our next video on which acid is stronger.